Schefter's tweet and those kind of things. In those cases, you can't really editorialize somebody's death. It's just best to stick with the facts.
Brief and concise, I would say. Let's talk a minute about the national championship game. We didn't get a chance to talk. I had an opportunity to go on with a friend of mine out of Baltimore, Rob Long. He's on the Fan up in Baltimore, and wanted me to talk about the Tar Heels. And I said, I'm not a Tar Heel fan. I'll give you my take. And my take was, I think Carolina had vastly exceeded expectations. I felt like the physicality of Kansas would eventually wear them down. They played well in the first half, and he asked me for my prediction. I said, I think it'll be Kansas by 7. It won't be double-digit, and wound up being Kansas by 3. Were you surprised by the outcome?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of at halftime, yeah. And then the second half, how they came back, I think there was a point in there where, if you're North Carolina, you just got to slow down a little bit. But I know that's not their nature, and they're going to continue to play the way they played, but you've got to protect the lead. And the way they built it was playing smart, getting good hoops. And as far as the end of the game, I just hate it when, the best player gets hurt.
Yeah.
And it's too bad that Armando Bacot couldn't finish that game. With the ankle injury, and they got a couple looks at it. But, yeah, North Carolina still out there. They had a great tournament and something for Hubert Davis to build on.
My only concern, we're talking about Bill Bender, Sporting News, my only concern, I relayed this to Rob as well, the expectations from the Carolina fan base will be a lot of pressure on Hubert Davis with the run he made in his first year.
Well, they're always high, though. I mean, that's part of the job there. And, I mean, they're going to be high on John Shire at Duke. Yeah. I mean, imagine following Coach K, especially they're going to be angry after losing to North Carolina. So, but that comes with the territory, and those guys know that. And I think it's going to make for an interesting new chapter in the North Carolina-Duke rivalry, because you wonder how could it get any larger than it was this week or this year. And I don't know that it can.
Yeah, and I kind of hated it for Coach K with kind of the farewell tour. He was kind of one of the last to kind of doing this one and done thing. He was never a fan of that, like a lot of college coaches. They wanted a little more traditional. But I've heard some people say that will he really retire?
Oh, I think he will. And the more distance we get from that Final Four matchup, and nobody wants to go out with a loss to the rival, but to me it's still just a footnote. It's kind of a finale that you spoiled the ending of his career, but it does not take away from the career. I mean, 5 national championships, kind of fitting in some ways, Lanny, that he finished 50-50 against North Carolina, because that's how that rivalry was. You felt like it was 50-50. It had some big swings, and it really emerged as one of the best rivalries in the country, if not the best.
Oh, yeah. NBA basketball getting into the playoffs, which lasts, 3.5 years to the next season. It seems like the playoffs last almost as long as the season. You did an article about LeBron James versus Michael Jordan and the GOAT debate. I've said this for years. With all the changes that are done inside of sports, from rule changes, style of play, everything, it's hard to compare players of what I consider different generations, even though they're not really different generations, but just different periods of time when they played, because everything's different. I don't think you can compare the two. Give me your take.
Yeah, I mean, we're still going to do it anyway. I mean, in the article I wrote was about the Wizards and the Lakers with LeBron and the Wizards with Jordan, and we take every comparison we can. But to your point, I mean, like, the example I would use is Wilt Chamberlain. So much better than every other center other than maybe Bill Russell in his time. And then you watch videos and you see people on Twitter comment, well, he would be trash today. Well, if Wilt Chamberlain had the things that the athletes have available to them today, imagine how good he would be on top of that. So, I mean, it is hard to make those comparisons with how the games change, the rules change, the athletes change. I'm one that if you have to make a decision, I'd still take MJ over LeBron, but that's me.
Mm-hmm.
And if you said LeBron, I'm not gonna kill you for it because that's an opinion.
Well, and even though LeBron, from a physical standpoint, is a specimen, he would have struggled in the old Detroit Piston days and old Chicago Bull days, I think.
I mean, the rules were different.
Yeah.
And, there are guys that are exceptions to the rule. It's, Curry is the best shooter I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
How would that play out when his dad played? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think he'd still be really good.
Yeah. Spring football, one final question. Spring football is getting started. You did an article about some of the players who played the old USFL. Do we have a better shot of spring football making it this year?
We're going to find out. I think the curiosity factor will be there with some of these teams, and I'm looking forward to the first weekend of it. I'll probably turn on, see what it's all about, and it's going to feel like the AAF did, like the XFL did before COVID, and will when the XFL reboots yet again.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're not competing with the NFL and trying to develop for the NFL, I think it's going to be fine. People like watching football. It'll satisfy that spring itch for some people, and I think it won't be great, but it'll be something to have on.
No, I agree. 100%. I can watch football. I used to watch NFL Europe, so there you go. I'll watch it. Bill Bender, Sporting News, as always. Appreciate the time, my friend, and have a great day. Talk with you next week.
Hey, thanks, Lanny. Take care.
See you, buddy. That's Bill Bender from Sporting News. Let me take a time out. We come back. Juju will join us. We'll get an update from him. We got a couple different thoughts we'll throw out there to you.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. At Stifel Nicholas, we're committed to offering investors personalized investment guidance. We're a full-service organization with department staffed with professionals that specialize in a wide range of investment opportunities, from the most conservative to the most aggressive. We strive to give each account, regardless of size, careful, individual attention. Call Full Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange. Times Convenience Stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times Convenience Stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times Convenience Stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. And welcome back to the Wednesday edition, Hump Day edition of The Bottom Line. Lanny Ford along with you here. As we do each and every Wednesday, we'd like to check in with our good friend Juju Phillips. Good morning to you, sir.
Hey, Lanny, good morning. As always, a pleasure to join you, my man.
I have got to get us a light to go around our camera, so if we have a sudden onset of clouds like we did Monday night, people said they couldn't see us. We've got to make sure that people can see us when we're out on location.
Yeah, I know. They covered up. It even covered up our good side. Mm-hmm. It's okay for the bad side, but it also covered up our good side.
Yeah, and I didn't think about that, and the clouds rolled in kind of, I don't know, they kind of took me by surprise a little bit. Of course, I didn't think it was supposed to rain yesterday, but it did.
Yeah, and, it was the fact that it was nice during the day, and all of a sudden, like the weather around here in the spring usually does. It changes about every half an hour.
It does. It does. All right, sir, what's going on in your world?
Hey, man, we're a couple of weeks away from the NFL draft, and a lot of football news in the air. The Panthers yesterday welcomed in about every quarterback imaginable to camp. They met with Kenny Pickett and the guys from Liberty. They had 4 or 5, I guess, on all of them. They met all 4 or 5 of them, and guys that probably they're going, one of the guys, if they fall in love with one of them, will take with the number 1 pick. They're either doing that, Lanny, or they're giving some misinformation out there. The Panthers are going to trade back and maybe pick up some extra draft picks. I don't think they have another draft pick after the number 6 pick until pick 135. That's what, 4th round?
I was thinking like they don't have a 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, they don't have a 2nd and 3rd. So it would be good to maybe pick up some draft capital. That is the word that some people think. Others think they're going to go ahead and pull the trigger and draft a quarterback with the number 6 pick overall. But the other part was interesting that, and I posted this on Facebook last night, that a couple of guys from LR could get drafted on the 3rd day, the 5th, 6th, 7th round. A wide receiver, Tariq Young, and Jason Poe, former offensive lineman, played at LR for 2018-2019 before he transferred at Mercer and became an all-conference player there in the Southern Conference. But they had excellent workouts. They had pro days last week for Tariq Young at the UNC Charlotte, and Jason Poe had his workout and his pro day at the University of Georgia. And some of the scouting reports are out there, and they're turning some heads and getting some draft buzz. And I would not be surprised if either one gets picked. And that would be a first, that 2 guys with LR connections in the same year get selected in the NFL draft. And that's one thing to watch as we approach the NFL draft in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see that. I don't think you can really look at what the Panthers do until draft night comes, because they change like the wind.
Yeah.
And I think it's because they don't have any idea what they want to do.
Well, either they might not. I mean, the way they have conducted business the last couple of years, you kind of wonder. With the number 6 pick, Sam Darnold hanging around, and they're not going to extend him or give him another contract, even though they picked up their 5th-year option on him this year. They're not going to make him a franchise quarterback, or at least franchise tag him after this year. Then they're probably going to go ahead and draft a quarterback. And if they're bringing in 4 or 5 guys all in one day, my guess is, Lanny, they're not going to wait at number 6. I think they trade back and maybe pick up some draft picks, and maybe one of those quarterbacks are still there at, say, I don't know, 25, at 20, 18, somewhere in the mid to late 1st round, and the Panthers maybe get a 2nd-round draft pick out of it. Who knows?
To me, that says they don't have a plan. We're just going to take whatever's there.
Well,
and I know it's not a strong quarterback draft. I get that.
Yeah.
And they've still got a year left on Sam Darnold. They got to pay him anyway.
I just don't think that whatever plan that they had last year when they brought in, they made some trades, and they traded away their second and their third round draft picks for guys that are now free agents. Stephon Gilmore was one of those guys. And yeah, you're right. Maybe they had a plan and they changed it, like you said, and it does not appear that they are, going in the right direction.
No.
They signed free agents with the offensive line. Everybody seems to think that if they do keep their draft pick, that it's either going to be a quarterback or an offensive lineman. I just don't. I think that offensive lineman would be good, but you're not going to have a pick in the second and third round. So you need to get the quarterback. If you are in love with him, you think he can be a franchise quarterback, then go ahead and take him at number 6 or trade back. Maybe get that offensive lineman and quarterback later in the draft.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing is they've got to come up with a plan. And they've got to – I think the biggest reason they can't come up with this plan is because they don't have a long-term future with Matt Rule. So how do you build your plan, your next 5 years around a coach that's going to be gone in less than 12 months?
Yeah, that's a tough thing unless they catch lightning in a bottle. He had a 7-year contract, and it's down now 5 more years. I know the owner's rich enough to buy him out, and he's going through a bunch of other stuff down at Rock Hill. Financially and whatnot. Again, you don't get a good warm and fuzzy about the future direction of the Panthers right now, the way things are going.
Correct. I don't even get a feel of what kind of direction they've got. What else you got, sir?
I guess the Steelers. We'll probably have one of their insiders join us on the show either next week or the following week coming up. But they seem to be hell-bent on maybe getting a quarterback high in the draft. I don't think it's going to be with the number 20 pick, even though that's the signals that they're giving. But it's interesting to follow some of these teams who they invite, who they talk about, but not, it's a lot of misinformation. They give you the old, what do you call it? I don't want to say whatchamacallit, but they tell you, they give you signals that what they're going to do, and then all of a sudden they draft somebody different.
Right.
And with the Steelers, I'm not, even unfortunately what happened over the weekend to one of their quarterbacks, I'm not so sure that they're going to draft a quarterback at number 20. I think they go defensive line because they're getting up in the older and long in the tooth. And I think that it's going to be interesting to see. I go back to that Lenore Ryan receiver, Tariq Young. He had 18 scouts and different people from the NFL join him at the UNC Pro Day or UNC Charlotte Pro Day last week. And one of the scouts was Dan Rooney Jr., who is the son of the owner of the team, Art Rooney. And he was interesting. He was one of the scouts that also helped draft Alex Highsmith out of UNC Charlotte a couple of years back. And so I'm not so sure. Maybe the Steelers need a wide receiver. They may go Tariq Young late in the 5th, 6th round. They have been known to do that and develop some good receivers in the mid to late rounds of the NFL draft. So that's going to be interesting to follow as well. It's just a lot of storylines around the NFL right now with the draft only 2 weeks away.
Is Baker Mayfield still in play as a possible candidate for quarterback with the Steelers if he gets cut?
No, I don't think
that was a hot rumor.
That was a hot rumor.
That was a hot take.
I don't think there is any way that they do that. I really don't. Not after what they did with – you'd have Trubisky. Unless they trade, they're going to have to trade somebody. And if they would sign him, they would have 3 quarterbacks that have NFL experience.
And you can shake them all up in a cup and not get one.
That may be it, but you can't have 3 of them. If you got 3, you don't
have one. That's correct. Yeah. Good point. What else you got?
Baseball. Let's talk a little baseball. The LR baseball team won yesterday. They're now 35-7, tied a school record for most wins in the season. Lanny, they still got 8 games left, so they have an opportunity to get up to 40 wins, and pretty much they have clinched a playoff berth as an at-large team in the Division II playoffs, unless they just fall flat on their face, which I doubt that they'll do. But they're just having a remarkable season. The season that they've not had before, and we talked about it a little bit, and I've talked about it before when it comes to baseball at LR. It was a program that was not only once but twice nearly shut down. And they have turned it around here under Chris Ramirez over the last 3 years. had back-to-back winning seasons. And then this year, 35 wins with 12 games to go, and plus the postseason and a conference tournament. They're expected to have a really good year and maybe get their second playoff spot in the NCAA baseball playoffs for only the second time in school history.
And I was going to ask, I was thinking like they were sitting in second place in the conference, and they do have a conference tournament. Or is any of that tied to the playoffs? I don't even know how they pick playoff teams in college baseball.
No, it's tied just like a lot of other things with the NCAA Division II. It's tied to your regional rankings.
Got you.
And now, if you win your conference tournament, you get a berth in the playoffs as one of the teams in the region. I think they take 8 teams from the super regional, and based upon your regular season, based upon your postseason in the conference tournament, that kind of thing, it determines where you go. And I think right now, I think they got among the highest number of wins of any team in the region right now, as many as at least Wingate, which is the number 1 team in the South Atlantic Conference. But the Bears, if they do well in the conference tournament and maybe make it into a couple of rounds, second or third round, they might have an opportunity to play a home playoff game. We'll see.
And that any kind of playoffs that you get, extended season in any sport, whether it's baseball, they've done it in was it women's lacrosse or men's lacrosse? Just a year or two ago.
Oh yeah, men's lacrosse made it to the championship game. Yeah. And the women's soccer team made it to the Final Four this year. Right.
And then softball has done well. Football has done well. So Lenoir-Rhyne, really, for those that don't know, is an up-and-coming school in Division II sports across the board, whether it's women or men's sports.
They have done really well. They got to get the basketball programs rolling again. They have not been able to do that over the last few years. But, yes, some of the other sports you mentioned, especially in the spring with lacrosse and softball and baseball doing quite well right now. And then in the fall with football and women's soccer going all the way to the Final Four. And the championship round doing great, and they're going to have to rebuild. They got a new coach coming in. Don't forget about women's volleyball.
I was getting ready to say that's another one we didn't think about.
Yeah, they got a new coach this year, and last year they had a really memorable season. They made it to the playoffs and under an interim head coach. And so, yeah, I mean, in several sports, both men and women, they are among the best in not only in the South Atlantic Conference, but in the region, and are nationally relevant.
No, it's something to be proud of for Lenoir-Rhyne. There's no doubt about that. Anything else, sir?
That's it. About it, Lanny. We're counting down here at school. We're at day 143, and things are going along quite well.
We still have not heard really a lot more details about the Dwayne Haskins accident that happened. I'm still kind of wondering what they're waiting on to really get the story. I know that his funeral's coming up, but they really haven't said, not a whole lot of detail about it, and that's kind of unusual, I think.
Yeah, and unless there's somebody really investigating it down there in South Florida. I don't know. I know Ohio State's going to honor him this weekend at their spring game. They're going to have a special ceremony for that. And other than that, and I checked the Pittsburgh media quite a bit, and even earlier this morning, and there was nothing there about any of the latest details. No. So we'll see.
We'll just wait and see. And I think you mentioned on Monday, and I don't think that has changed. They haven't found, or they don't know who actually was driving the truck or found the truck, correct?
Last thing that I read, they have not been able to find the person that caused the accident.
Wow.
The driver.
Wow. All right, sir. As always, appreciate the time. And we'll do it again next Monday, weather permitting. We will be on the patio at Three Hermanos here in Maiden, and hopefully some folks can start coming out and joining us a little bit for that broadcast.
Yeah, we'll be, 10 days out from the NFL draft?
Yep.
May have to have a draft preview show at some point in time.
We could do that. We could find somebody to talk to us about it. We like to talk anyway.
Yes, we do.
All right, sir. Have a great day. We'll do it all again next Monday. And take care of yourself. And easy does it in school. You're almost there.
We're almost there. Thanks, Lenny. As always, you guys have a great day.
Appreciate it, buddy. We'll take a time out and be back with more here on The Bottom Line.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. At Stifel Nicholas, we're committed to offering investors personalized investment guidance. We're a full-service organization with department staffed with professionals that specialize in a wide range of investment opportunities, from the most conservative to the most aggressive. We strive to give each account, regardless of size, careful, individual attention. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. And welcome back. Glad to have you in the house this morning. A couple of closing thoughts before we get out of here. Wanted to tell you about, and I forgot about this. Thank you, Richie. Richie had mentioned that he was reading an article, and I got into that. Jeff Taylor said Kim Pate deserves tremendous credit for the coaches that have been hired, direction. They have done rather well. The only miss have been on the basketball side, Jeff, it seems like. But I'm sure they'll get that righted before long as well. Richie just started reading an article, and I saw this yesterday, just didn't have a chance to get into it. But Brady had a master plan after retirement. He was going to come back out of retirement, head to Miami, and take Sean Payton with him. However, Brian Flores' lawsuit threw a big monkey wrench into the plans and screwed it all up. Brady was set to be announced as minority owner of the Dolphins, and that still may happen. There's just, Rich said, there's so much of that story. Brady, possible minority owner, bringing Peyton with him. Then the Dolphins would get the rights to Brady. Brady would be the next quarterback for Miami. It's a crazy read. Well, that's part of it. That's where it comes from. It's a crazy business, and I'm gonna use another phrase there, Richie. Part of that is manipulation to get what you want, get the people you want into what positions. Tom cannot keep going, even though he's Tom Terrific. Tommy has got to have sort of a downward slope in his play, level of play, and that type of thing. Maybe he could get together with a Peyton Manning and get into ownership. The Washington team's one that needs a new owner. I think Miami needs a new owner. I just don't think those owners are focused. I'm not even sure David Tepper at the Panthers is focused on the NFL and winning. I'm not exactly sure what his focus is, but it just, I don't know. It seems to be a little bit different with everybody that's involved, but that will be a story that we'll need to kind of keep up with as far as Brady is concerned. I don't think you've heard the last of that. One other thing that I did want to mention, I heard yesterday Jordan Love, the first-round draft pick, 3 years ago for Green Bay Packers, put the burr under under Aaron Rodgers' saddle. He's not actively being shopped, but the Packers would take phone calls. And, I don't know what happens unless they've just said, well, it's Aaron Rodgers or bust. But my understanding is, from what I heard yesterday, they would take phone calls on Jordan Love. They're looking for a second-round pick. So, obviously, he has not matured into what they thought he was going to be. So, we'll have to kind of see how that all works out as well. I think that's interesting. And you miss on draft picks. The problem is you just don't want to miss on a first-rounder. Those really hurt when you miss on a first-round pick. I'm going to buzz out here a few minutes early. Ford Rembert will be with me tomorrow. Join us tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock right here on The Bottom Line. Have a great day. Be safe out there, folks.